The changes, yes, a jazz term, just meaning the chords, because you've got to change the chords. So we're going to look at the changes of Autumn Leaves. What I've done is I've used voicings that you would have got from the 7 videos or even the 251 videos, as in most of these changes are 251s, although some are minor, so we're not going to go there in 251s on the minor ones. Just I haven't explained that to you yet. But if you have a look at the opening, it starts off with a 251, A minor 7, D7 to G major 7. 251 and G major 7. Then of course there's a 251 and it's relative minor. This is why we'll talk about that in the soloing. And there's another 251, A minor D7 to G7 within the B section. So those are the types of voicings we're using, even if they're not quite in that grouping. And we'll talk about the F sharp minor 7 flat 5 in a moment. So let's get all the chords sorted. Let's have a look at each one. So here's an A minor 7. This is the one I want you to play. G, A, C. And then we come to the D7. You see you're nicely paused for the D7, which is the next chord. D, F sharp, C. And then that's nicely paused for the G major 7. F sharp, G, B. I'm thinking paused. I've been hanging around with the cat too long, you know. Pom pom. Pom pom's quite popular in the studio with the students, you know. However, when I say paused, I mean like voiced or voice leading, which we will go on a bit more in the next 251 videos, but it's just going to the next easiest chord tones to get to in some respects. C major 7, here we go. C, E, B. Now for the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, I'm just going to give you a simpler alternative to go with to start with, which is just F sharp minor 7. We'll talk about the flat 5 in a mo. So we've got E, F sharp, A. And now we go to the B7, B, D sharp, A. Notice a B7, so it's a dominant chord, closing to the E minor. Notice that we're just going to have 2 notes here, E and G. Now if you wanted to, I suppose you could put the 3. There's no need. And sometimes a 2-note voicing is really lovely. So this is what we've got. E, G. Now, we won't bother going through that again. Clearly, that'll be a waste of time. So you've got all those voicings, and you've now got all the voicings you need for a lot of the rest of the tune, like the F sharp minor 7 to the B7 to the E minor in the B section. If you look through the B section, you'll notice that the next chord that you don't have a voicing for is actually an E minor 7. Now you think, oh, I've already got an E minor. Yeah, but we're using that in a different place. We're using that. And it's quite nice that we just only used that, because now we can have a slightly different chord with an E minor 7. And slight differences in your playing make all the difference. It just gives a little bit of an increase to the audience. They don't need to know what you're doing. They just need to feel a little bit more interested all the time. So this is our descending part. Now you'll notice, because these chord roots are moving in tones, we're going to keep the same type of voicing. We're not going to play into each other like we did with the 251, because they moved in fourths, or we change inversions all the time. This part around the E minor 7, E flat 7, D minor 7, D flat 7, those roots are moving in semitones. So we're going to keep the same voicing shape and just drop through the types of chords, even though the chords change their qualities. It goes E minor 7, E flat 7, D minor 7, D flat 7, and then we've already got that C major 7, B7, E minor. We've already got those. So you now have all the chords you need to play this tune. You would have in the chart noticed a couple of places where it says F sharp minor 7 flat 5 going to B7 flat 9. And sometimes it's just F sharp minor 7 flat 5 just going to B7. And going on to E minor. Really the same things going on in all those changes there. And it's including a slight alteration in the chord. What's including is the flat 5 of the F sharp minor, which is the C. Once I've explained minor 251, you'll get why that's there. I think we're just going to go, well, there it is. We're going to also include the C. So it's quite a self-explanatory chord symbol. Really, you just find the 5 and flatten it, and then you've got your extra chord tone. So it's F sharp minor 7 flat 5 going to B 7 flat 9. Now there's lots and lots of different ways of playing this now because you've got an extra chord tone in there, but this flat 5 of the F sharp comes the flat 9 of the B, and the B 7 flat 9, this is going to be one of the first voicings that you have that doesn't have a B in it, doesn't need it, so sometimes referred to as rootless voicings. So here we have our F sharp minor 7 flat 5. We can, if we like, put the C on the bottom and change to our B7 flat 9 this way, and like just doing it by one note is a really lovely way of doing it. You're achieving that harmony and you're doing simplistically. It's a wonderful word, isn't it? Simplistic. Even sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah. F sharp minor 7 flat 5. Here's the C there. Now, in order to get our B7 flat 9 chord, all we've got to do is take this E and put it down to there. That gives us the third of the B7. Notice again, there's no B in the chord. Like if you want to put the B here, it sounds down there. The B's possibly out of shot. Put it up there, doesn't sound quite as good, but it's not needed. So I've used that in several different ways, and I suggest you use it however you like. Even if you just go, which is actually not including the flat 5 or the flat 9 at all. Minor harmony is very flexible. Okay, that's enough on your chords. Okay, soloing tools. Well, one of the reasons why I picked this piece as an early piece when teaching jazz is that you don't have to worry too much about different scales and stuff. In fact, you can get away with just one. And one is perfectly okay. Jazz is very much a less is more. So it's okay to just be using one soloing tool. We're going to use 3, but really in all honesty it's just the same one. Manipulate it a little. But soloing and soloing tools, the tools just keep you safe. They're like, you know, the different scales and things that you can use. It's what you do with it that makes the difference. Gosh, how often do I say that? It's what you do with it that makes the difference. But it is true. Learn your tools and then do something beautiful with it. So we're going to use these scales. G major, E minor. Now, pure minor. Pure minor really just means it's G major in another place. Sometimes referred to as Aeolian mode, but still just G major starting on E. But we do have one note within this tune that's important. It's the D sharp of the B7s, because they give us the cadence that states the E minor chord. So there it is there. So sometimes you can use the E harmonic minor. Now that's not a choice of a lot of jazz players. They prefer the jazz minors used in different ways. And to be honest, it sounds pretty cool if you do it this way. Which is using the jazz minors. But we're not there at this stage, so the E harmonic minor covers it all. The thing I would suggest is you play using G major or E pure minor, and then when you hit the B's, add a little D sharp and you should be sweet. Okay, so that's the soloing tools. I would suggest less is more, and you'll have the play along to have a good blast on. So try all sorts of things, and you don't have to confine yourself just to the scales. You can use the arpeggios, and of course you can use any of the tones of any of the chords. So over B7 7 is absolutely fine. This tune. Now the form is the structure that we're going to play it with. The form, for instance, for each chorus is A, A, B. Not that you necessarily have to play it that way, but that is the form for each chorus. When I played to start with, I actually only played 2 choruses because I wanted to get on to actually showing you what the head was and the chords. And therefore I soloed a bit in the second chorus and finished out. I also repeated the last 8 bars at the end in order to create an ending. Jazz typically does the last 4. I just thought this tune lends to the last 8 because that's quite a nice place to go to and is a good ending. So that's our coda for the tune. When you come to the form, well, you can do anything you like. Once you've learned the tune, you know, as I say, the world's your oyster. And do experiment and play around with this idea. Create a little gem. It doesn't need to just be played head, solo, head, which is so often done. Play around with it, see what else you can do. Now, there's some variations on the channel. I put a couple of versions out, and no doubt I'll put one out again because I love this tune. I love playing it. So one day I'll just blow through another one and stick it on. It's a great thing to play on. There are also some other play-alongs that I've put into the channel. But at the end of this, there will be a play-along for you to play with. Now, it's going to have 3 choruses. I suggest that you use the choruses to create variations on your soloing. You can first just do the head against it. It's a great way to just get the head down and then learn to vary the head, etc. Right? So have some fun with it. It's got a lot of different dynamic shifts. It gets quite loud and grunty at times, and that's perfectly okay. Allow yourself to get a bit ugly on it. After all, it is about falling leaves, so there's an element of sadness, so allow that to come in. Just have some fun with the solo. 3 choruses, each chorus A, A, B. The second of the chorus is a little bit lively for the soloing. And it will finish with 8 bars at the end, this part. And I'll slow it right down so as you can enjoy a bit of rubato, and you can get flash on that if you like. All your call. Okay, have some fun. See you next video. Don't forget to subscribe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
don't forget to subscribe or ask me questions. Love questions, particularly as like what tune you might want next. That's always quite cool. Keep them simple. I really suggest that. I'm going to be staying simple, even if you try and go complicated. I'm a simple person. Bye.